Faces. I promised you a poet, and we keep our promises on New Faces. This is Paul Penklis, and he's from Western Australia. Paul has competed in various talent quests, including Quest 66 and 77 for Channel 2. He's also done amateur theatre productions, and Paul has appeared twice on Just Call It Folk for Channel 2 in Perth. And back in 1975, Paul performed on Perth's New Faces in a heat and also in the grand final. He currently works as a taxi driver, and his ambition is to be a movie character actor. Paul Penklis from Western Australia, and he's got Banjo Patterson's Mulga Bill's Bicycle. He's Act 3.
'Twas Mulga Bill from Eaglehawk that caught the cycling craze. He turned away the good old horse that served him many days. He dressed himself in cycling clothes, resplendent to be seen, and he hurried off to town and bought a shiny new machine. And as he wheeled it through the door with air of lordly pride, the grinning shop assistant said, "Excuse me, can you ride?" "See here, young man," said Mulga Bill. "From Walgett to the sea, from Conroy's Gap to Castlereagh, there's none can ride like me. I'm good all round at everything, as everybody knows, although I'm not the one to talk. I hate a man what blows. But riding is my special gift, my chiefest sole delight. Just ask a wild duck, can it swim? A wild cat, can it fight? There's nothing clothed in hair or hide or built of flesh or steel. There is nothing walks or jumps or runs on axle, hoof or wheel. But what I'll sit while hide will hold and girths and straps are tight, I'll ride this here two-wheeled concern right straight away at sight." 'Twas Mulga Bill from Eaglehawk that sought his own abode, that perched above the Dead Man's Creek, beside the mountain road. He turned the cycle down the hill and mounted for the fray. But ere he'd gone a dozen yards, it bolted clean away and left the track and through the trees just like a silver streak. It whistled down the awful slope toward the Dead Man's Creek. It shaved a stump by half an inch. It dodged a big white box. The very wallaroos in fright went scrambling up the rocks. The wombats, hiding in their caves, dug deeper underground. And Mulga Bill, as white as chalk, sat tight to every bound. It struck a stone and gave a spring that cleared a fallen tree. It raced beside a precipice as close could be. And then, as Mulga Bill let out one last despairing shriek, it made a leap of 20 feet into the Dead Man's Creek. It was Mulga Bill from Eaglehawk that slowly swam ashore. He said, "Oh, I've had some narrow shaves and lively rides before. I've rode a wild bull around a yard to win a £5 bet, but that was sure the derndest ride what I've encountered yet. I'll give that two-wheel outlaw best. It's shaken all my nerve to feel it whistle through the air and buck and jump and swerve. It's safe at rest in Dead Man's Creek. We'll leave it lying still. Our horse's back is good enough henceforth for Mulga Bill."
Good on you, Paul. Yes. I hope you're watching, Kevin Arnett. That was a lovely effect there for you, Paul. I'm not too sure whether you realised or not, but our director gave you a beautiful when you did the line on White.
Yeah, I showed him how to do everything.
Fair enough. Well, we all have to.
Yeah.
You've worked with Ray before, obviously, have you?
No, I haven't. He's not a bad sort of fellow. He understands everything that I tell him, you see.
Sure, yeah. Gosh, I must take some lessons from you. He understands everything the director we've got working on the show understands you.
I can't, not straight after the show. I'm in a hurry to get away.
Did you speak to him in English?
Yes.
And he understood it?
Yes. I threw in a few Castellaresian words, but, he was okay.
Castellaresian? What does that mean, Paul?
What's Castellaresian? It's one of the Greek islands.
Well, I know that, but do they speak Castellaresian there?
Oh,
I thought it may have been a French protectorate. Who knows? I think I may have new parts here. Anyway, Paul, it's been wonderful being on your show. that was Paul Penklis from Western Australia. Unfortunately, no time for judging. We'll be we are going to judge, and that was when we got the round of applause there. I know that piece reasonably well, and you've almost got to keep your audience quiet, haven't you? Because I think that is the tag to the whole thing.
It's happened to me many, many times, and you know, I sort of have to hold that out.
Yeah. Do you do any poetry for the people who jump in your taxis?
No, not for the people that jump in my taxis. I've got to watch what I say because my wife might be watching. But
what's that mean?
Well, sometimes she watches the shows I'm on, sometimes she doesn't.
No, I'm not.
Well,
I don't care whether she watches the show.
Listen, wait a minute. Let's forget that bit. And you just
whatever you want, Paul. I'm here to please. Whatever you want. What would you like to talk to me about?
The weather?
Yeah, no, let's not talk about that. Hey, listen, I believe the weather over in Western Australia is not all that.
Look,
you've got drought,
no weather like Perth weather.
But haven't you got drought in the state generally at the moment?
Yeah, that was 5 years ago.
Oh, I see.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get the camels over here with the news.
Yeah. I'm with you. Okay,
let's go on with the show.
Well, yes, I think we'll keep going whilst we're behind. Who's the first to judge? Okay, Rod, whatever you do. I'm just going to have a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Actually, well, I loved the bit where it seemed to be the end and the audience applauded and then you went on. In fact, when that happened, I changed my mark and got Roz back to show that I had because it brought your mark up in point of fact.
You brought it down? Oh.
Up. Now, apart from a nervous start, which now astounds me, having listened to you over the last 60 seconds, where your mouth got very, very dry and you're actually struggling to get your projection going. Once you got into the swing, it was absolutely super. Very Australian, naturally enough, but done very well in the Australian vein. A touch more, lots of light, perhaps a touch more shade occasionally. You get, I think, a little carried away with your exuberance, but apart from that, absolutely super, 41.
41 from Rod. What about you, Rod?
Well, Paul, I agree with Rod. You did start, and the little nervousness did. I think you raced it just a little bit, the first part, and the setup, you know? But then when you got into it and your timing was so perfect, you got into the character about just, you know, like 25% of the way in, you got into the character, a very descriptive performance, and if you want to be a character actor in films, I'm sure you're going to make it, because that's a very good character you had there. Diction was great. I enjoyed it very much also. I gave you 41.
41, that's 82 for you, Paul. It's been good to have you over and nice to hear some of Banjo's work. Have you seen The Man from Snowy River yet?
No, I haven't seen it as yet. As a matter of fact, I think it's on in Melbourne. It was on in Melbourne yesterday. How am I going to get out of this one?
No, there's no reason to go because it's going to be on for a couple of weeks. The producers are hoping. It's a magnificent.
Yesterday is tomorrow now over here, isn't it?
Oh, you're talking Perth time.
Yeah, well, I'm talking Melbourne time.
Look,
when
if you don't mind, we're suffering a drought here in Victoria, so I don't want to go on.
Yeah.
You've just been a joy to have on the program. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
That was Paul Penklis from Western Australia. If ever you're in the West in Perth, I guess you're from Perth, are you?
Yes,
Perth
yes,
itself?
yeah.
I'd love to get in your taxi because I reckon it'll be an absolute ball.
I've had many big celebrities in the car, but
have you?
You know, too many to mention.
Oh, I was just trying to be nice and say, you know, I thought perhaps we'd have a bit of a chat.
Well, just
maybe
another one wouldn't hurt.
No. Well, then again, no.
What am I saying?
Well, next time I'll get there, I'll go by train. That was Paul Penklis from Western Australia. Actually, he and I think we should join up.
Yes.
Because we'd have some wonderful arguments together. Thanks for being here, Paul. Good luck to you. It's very hard to find a finish with Paul, isn't it? I would like now to introduce Act 4 on this evening's show. And now we go from the West. This is the beauty of the show. We go from the West now up to Queensland. And in Queensland, Keith